Hello everyone, this is Lori and this is my fourth episode, part 2, titled, What? She has bipolar and she's actually happy and successful? Let's go ahead and just dive right in. On the first part of my episode, if you were able to hear a little bit about it, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I talked about a little bit of what it felt like, how my life was in total turmoil, yet you couldn't tell on the outside, but on the inside, I was actually going crazy. When I finally decided to really get some help, and I had to actually learn how to work my program. Now, I started with taking medication, and I really want to stress something here when it comes to medication. Guys, the medications do not work overnight. Please give them time. I had to give mine time. I hear so many people tell me, oh no, I stopped after a couple of days because I didn't like how it made me feel. Okay, yes, medication, all medications have side effects, okay? But when we really think about it, what meds really don't? There are, some meds that might not give you side effects, but most of them really are. I mean, even antibiotics can give you side effects. Even if you have a headache and you take something for that headache, it could give you a side effect. That's what's the beauty of it, is that we're actually all built so different. So therefore, in my opinion, for me specifically, I allowed at least a month with each medication that I took. Now, I did notice that there were some side effects, when I changed my meds. I ended up taking about 4 to 5 medication changes until about the 7th and 8th month, I actually found the perfect one. Now, was it annoying to change medications? Of course it is. Yes, it's so annoying going to the doctor and then changing your meds, the time that it takes. But if I don't take time for myself, really, who is going to take time for you, right? So you got to take care of yourself. But taking that first step of treatment is the way that I wanted to start to feel better. Now, keep in mind that, if you are taking medication and you do have a side effect that is just absolutely unbearable, you just cannot take it, yes, please go to your doctor right away. That, of course, was not the case for me, but my side effects were I felt very sleepy, very fatigued. I remember having very vivid dreams, nightmares, constipation, and the beauty one, weight gain. Everything went away, but the one that stayed with me, of course, that just loved me, was the weight gain, in which I have heard so many people don't take their meds because of the weight gain. And let me give you a little secret, guys. Yes, when the time that I started at 25, of course, I had that nice body, it was, those times that were beautiful and young. And when the time, I had some weight gain due to the medication. But this is my little secret I tell everybody. When you're actually doing well mentally, meaning you're taking your medication, if you're doing therapy, if you're doing any kind of, with a psychologist, psychiatrist, when I look in the mirror, when you guys see me, you're going to see I'm going to call it chunky. That's the nice word for me. But when I look at the mirror, I don't see that chunky person. I don't see her because I am well mentally. I see a beautiful person that tries to help others as well as herself. That's what I see. So when you're actually working your program, that's what it's going to feel like. Okay, I don't look at the weight gain. Weight gain does not bother me at all because mentally I'm where I need to be. Okay, just a little secret that I tell others that know me really, really personal. Now, the second part of being successful is therapy. Oh, I love therapy. Everybody should have a therapist. I tell everybody that having a therapist, a psychiatrist, or psychologist, it's like having a car tune-up. I had both a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and I had a therapist. Now, my psychiatrist, she was just awesome. She's the one that gave me the meds. She taught me how my brain worked. The psychologist actually taught me how to rewire my brain, actually taught me how my brain worked. And then the therapist actually just kept up with me to make sure that I was working my program. Now they're actually called life coaches. So at that time, I was very, very lucky back in the day that I had a psychiatrist, psychologist, and a therapist that actually worked together. So my psychiatrist told my psychologist and therapy, okay, this is what's going on. My psychologist told my psychiatrist and my therapist, this is what's going on. This is the first time that this has ever happened. I have never had any doctors actually work really close like this before. I think that the reason why was because I really wanted to make a change and I really wanted to work my program. So they took the time with me to actually work all hand in hand because they weren't in the same office. They were all different provider offices. So I learned that therapy, actually, with the therapist and the psychologist, that actually taught me how to think and how to act differently. And this effect has actually lasted all the way up till now. And we are talking that when I really started being serious about changing, I was about maybe 29, 30 years old. And that's when I was actually pregnant with my second child. And now I'm 52 years old. So I have all of that experience of getting to where I'm at. But getting the full benefit of therapy can take a while, guys. It can. It's a lot of work. It's very hard to do. But in the end result, oh my gosh, it is worth it. It is so worth it because I literally can tell you the happiness that I feel and how successful I feel. I am not talking success as far as I'm rich, I have a huge house, I have like 4 cars. No, that's not the success I'm talking about. I'm talking about successful, meaning I am able to provide for me and my family. I have a small house. I have 2 used cars, but they're paid for. That is success to me. Having a simple life, that is success for me. Now, at first, I had to take therapy twice a week. It was such a pain in the butt. After twice a week, after 6 months, I went to once a week. Then from once a week, I went to twice a week. And then from there, I went 1 time per month. And finally, I actually now see my therapist and my psychologist. And now they're different because a lot of them, one of them passed away and the other ones have already retired. I see them once every 6 months unless I'm having an episode or a psychosis or I don't feel well, because now I know my body pretty well and I will go and visit them. Now, also with therapy, I actually started to dig deeper into what was really going on inside my mind. I started to really think about, why do I feel this way? Why do I act this way? I started to actually target what my brain was doing. This is where my 4th part of success was learning the different parts of the brain. Oh my goodness, learning the brain, the frontal lobe, what it does, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce the other parts of the brain because I always pronounce them incorrect, but I encourage you to really look up the different parts of the brain and what they do and how they all work together. There's different parts of the brain that some is your hearing, some is your vision, some is your touch. It's all different. And it is so neat that what I learned, and I could not believe, but I am living proof. You can rewire your brain and thinking pattern. Yes, you heard that right. Our brain has the ability to adapt, to learn, and grow. Every time we learn a new skill, guess what? Our brain is adapting. This is where I learned that we can rewire the brain. It is an amazing concept. Look up, if you can, rewiring the brain. You actually start rewiring those little neurons to create new ways of acting, new ways of handling stress. And this rewiring part is what I practice mindfulness. Now, what is mindfulness? You might ask, like, what is that? It's actually about living in the moment, and you're reawakening yourself to the present rather than dwelling in the past or anticipating the future. I don't sit here and think about what is going to happen tomorrow. I think about today, right now, this hour, this 5 minutes. You literally, during this mindfulness, I'm literally observing and labeling my thoughts all at the same time. I am labeling my feelings. I am, labeling and feeling the sensations in my body. And I don't judge myself for it. I don't. Now, there's 2 ingredients to mindfulness, okay? One of them is going to be awareness of what's happening around me or what's happening in this situation. And then I accept what's happening, okay? Awareness is actually the knowledge and the ability to really focus on my inner self, the experiences I'm feeling at that present moment. And then once I feel it, I accept it, I observe it, and I don't judge and I don't avoid my thoughts. I really, really take it in. Now, when I really got good at it, which right now I think I'm pretty good at it, I noticed that it really addressed my anxiety, my stress, my pain. It made me more relaxed. Let me give you an example, okay? Let's say I'm running late for work. Okay, you're running late, you got up late, and you're driving, and all of a sudden, you're getting all the stoplights, and you're like, oh my God, I have a 30-minute drive, and I'm already gonna run late. I don't think about what's going to happen. Am I going to get in trouble? Am I going to get written up? I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking of the present. I'm thinking of that moment. You know why? Because I don't have control of what's going to happen in the future. I don't have control of that. I don't have control of the past. I can't go back and wake up 20 minutes earlier, 30 minutes earlier. I don't have control of that. The only thing I have control of is that moment. That's it. Okay? So I'm driving. I know I'm going to be late. Guess what? I'm going to text my director or my supervisor, hey, you know what? I'm running a little late. That's the only thing I really have control of. I'm not going to worry about if something's going to happen to me later on. My focus is, let me drive safe, get to my destination, and whatever happens after that, I will deal with it at that moment. That, to me, is where anxiety comes in. When we suffer from anxiety, we're worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. I always love a Bible quote where it was stated, do not worry about your anxieties of tomorrow, worry about your anxieties of today. And that is so true. Don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow hasn't even come. Why am I going to use all of this anxiety and all of this panic attack and all this stress? Why am I going to take that today when it hasn't even happened tomorrow? Okay. Another great example that I used to help my daughter. She had anxiety, really, really bad. This girl has gotten better. I remember that I was taking her to school, and this girl was having a panic attack because she forgot a book. She literally was crying, shaking that she forgot a book. And I told her, okay, so what's going to happen? And she's like, well, I'm going to get in trouble. Okay, so you get in trouble, and what happens after that? Well, then she's going to give me a 0. Okay, and after that 0, what's going to happen after that? Well, then my grade's going to go down. Okay, and what's going to happen after that? She's like, you're going to get mad at me. And I said, no, I'm not going to get mad at you. You know better. And she's like, well, I don't know. I said, exactly. You only have control that you forgot your book, and that's it. And every other consequence is going to come afterwards. Oh, well, you deal with it at that moment. She's already jumped from 8 o'clock in the morning when I was driving her to school. She already jumped to her classroom at 2 o'clock when she had that class. If I didn't train her, this girl would have had anxiety from 8 to 2. Can you imagine her stress level, how high it would have been all this time? That cortisol level that goes high and just makes you like want to vomit, and you get dizzy and you feel just like crap. No, it's not worth putting the body into that. This can even be used even if you don't have mental health issues. This should be done in everyday practicing skill. So this is my view, my perspective, what's really helped me with my mental illness. Even if I didn't have mental illness, I think this is a great skill to learn. It takes practice, but honestly, when you keep doing it over and over and over and over, you will get to the point that you live at that moment, and you really, it doesn't look, I tell everybody, you can never see that I'm really stressed because I'm actually thinking at that moment, okay? Because I've kind of already gotten close to perfecting it, but we always have to work at it, but it is possible, okay? Now, if you guys have anyone or yourself need help with this kind of lifestyle coaching, lifestyle learning, these different techniques, you need a cheerleader to help you, to guide you, I am available for that. You guys know my website is up, I can never get this right guys, deep-within.com. You can also email me at alrosales@gmail.com. I would be more than happy to work with you and help you succeed with this, especially with our young ones who really suffer from this anxiety, this, suffering from all of this kind of tension that goes on. I'm always here to help you. I am available. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you guys and talk to you guys soon.